Hello and welcome to another Lakehead International Live. My name is Jordan and you're joined here on the Wednesday Weekly and Admissions Update. Something I'd like to note for today's session is we are only joined by undergraduate admissions. We're happy to connect you with graduate studies if you are pursuing graduate studies and you have admissions questions for them. We can also answer general Lakehead questions for you if you are a graduate studies student. However, we are only joined by Natalie from Undergraduate Admissions once again. So friendly reminder, if you do have those questions, please take that into consideration. Another thing I'd like to note is sort of what we've done with the Lakehead International Live series this week, where it's going later on this week. And of course, as always, we will continue into the upcoming weeks again with even more events. So on our Monday meetup, we did your housing options webinar. So we went over on-campus residents, off-campus residents, some of the intricacies of that, as well as we had a few special guests from different areas around Lakehead and Thunder Bay. So I certainly encourage students that are planning for their accommodations to join that webinar and go check it out on our YouTube channel. We also had a Transition Tuesday session yesterday, and it was about immigration. We were joined by a special guest from the IRCC, so that was a really great session. We had plenty of audience members. Upcoming tomorrow during our Transition Thursday, we'll be doing the LU virtual resources. So it's a great webinar that focuses on some of the online resources and how to access them and what ones you should focus in on, but it does go into a brief explanation of each and every service. And then finally, we'll wrap up this week with our Faculty Friday, and we'll be doing kinesiology. We're joined by Leanne Smith, and we're going to chat all about the program. So we're very excited to do that again. Things to remember throughout today's webinar, as I've mentioned, we are joined by undergraduate admissions only today. However, listed on your screen is the emails for both undergraduate and graduate admissions. Undergraduate is intl.admission@lakeheadu.ca. Graduate is gstudent@lakeheadu.ca. Lakehead International's general email, so if you have any regular inquiries or general inquiries, you can send that to welcome@lakeheadu.ca. It's the email listed in white at the bottom of your screen. We also have a website for some of our regular updates, so it's lakeheadu.ca/about/coronavirus. There's an FAQ section on there, so a frequently asked questions section. It does have specific questions related to incoming students or future international students. And of course, today though, we are here to answer your questions. If you're joining us on our Zoom webinar and you're using the Zoom platform, you can use the Q&A function to submit those questions. We'll be happy to answer them. If you're joining us over on our Facebook live stream, you can certainly comment on that video, and we do have Lakehead experts behind the scenes. Sylvia is helping us out. She's helping answer those questions. And last but not least, I always encourage our viewers to stay connected with us, follow us on our social media channels. We do post regular updates about major announcements, but also updates about programming, such as future webinars or upcoming live events that you can attend. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, as well as those viewers joining in China. We're on Weibo, WeChat, and Youku. Without further ado, though, I will head over to the Q&A. And I will review some of the questions that we have. So the first question we have is from Sarge, and this question will be for, I believe, Natalie. Will the prerequisite math course be for only the fall term or both for fall and winter term? So I believe, Natalie, if you could clarify, the prerequisite math course is typically provided to students, or a requirement as a part of the admissions officers for select students that don't have a math in their previous academic studies. You might not know about the course offerings or exactly when that course is offered, but if you could just clarify that, that would be awesome. Oh, you're just on mute there, Natalie. No worries.
I would have learned by now. Thank you so much for the question. So the course is just a one semester course. And what you can do is, I'm not sure if it is offered in the fall, however, I do believe that it is. What you can do is email Student Central at studentcentral@lakeheadu.ca, and they can help you get registered in that class. So send them an email and they will be able to guide you on that math course.
Awesome. And so I did just in the Zoom chat there, I put Student Central's email. So studentcentral@lakeheadu.ca is now, as Natalie mentioned. So you can certainly email them and chat with them about enrollment and registration. I will also put in a link here for Student Central's website. Student Central's website is a one-stop shop for all students, all future students, all incoming students, all current students, even alumni, to access certain enrollment resources. For example, they handle course timetables, exams, graduation, convocation, all that sort of stuff. So as I mentioned, they're a one-stop shop from the very beginning of a student life cycle all the way through to the end. And that link to their website is now posted in the chat as well. So I'll flip back to the Q&A, double check to see if we have any more questions. It looks like we don't have any more questions right now, no worries. For anyone else that does have questions, of course, we're happy to answer those. Even though we are limited to only having an undergraduate admissions officer here today, if you do have graduate questions, we can certainly help answer those or at least connect you with the graduate studies team. So the next question we have, and I'll let Natalie answer this one, is how long does the transfer credit assessment take?
Great, that's a good question. So that really does depend on where you are in the application process. So we do require that you have accepted your offer before we start the transfer credit assessment. So once you've accepted your offer, we do ask that you upload your full course syllabi to your MyInfo account, or you can email those to admission@lakeheadu.ca. Once those two things are completed, we will send those to the faculty. Once we send those to the faculty, usually takes about 3 weeks for the full assessment to be complete. However, that time does vary depending on how busy we are. You know, right now is quite a busy time for transfer credit assessments, so it may take a few days or a week to start the assessment. And then once it is started, it's usually about 3 weeks from that date.
Awesome, thank you so much, Natalie. And so I'm just keeping in mind, of course, we still have plenty of time to answer questions. We don't have any open right now, so just give me 1 second here. So we just received one. Hello, does Lakehead have a soccer team? So that's a really great question. If you just give me a second here, I'm gonna open our view book. So our view book is our go-to sort of magazine in a sense, where we have all of our information listed. I'm gonna confirm exactly who and what the soccer teams are. I know that we have them, and we were joined recently as of a month ago or so by a student who was a part of the soccer team, and he chatted about his experience.
Hi, Jordan. As you flip through the view book, I can actually answer that question.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, so for soccer or football players, on both campuses, there's the opportunity to participate in soccer. In Thunder Bay, it's through our campus rec program. So you can join as an individual or with your friends as a team and compete in intramural style soccer at the Hangar Field, which is an indoor soccer field on campus. So it's a great facility, year-round soccer. There's also on Fridays in the Thunder Bay campus, a lot of our international students get together on the open field time, and they do five-a-side pickup soccer, and it's kind of a big group of students, and they just pull teams as they go. So it's another way, if you don't have classes Friday afternoon, to go out and get some fun exercise. And the quality of soccer is actually quite high, just given everyone's backgrounds and how popular the game is around the world. In Aurelia, we actually have a club level soccer team, which is a competitive soccer team which competes against other colleges and universities regionally. And that is, you have to try out for that team. So you are able to do that. And I know that if you are interested and you are at the Aurelia campus, it's pretty easy to connect and figure out how to participate. And I would recommend anyone at the Aurelia campus get involved with the club soccer team.
Awesome, thank you so much. I just confirmed that in the book there as well, Patrick. So as Patrick mentioned, varsity teams are available for soccer on the Aurelia campus, and then the club teams are available on the Thunder Bay campus. Of course, there's many other varsity and club teams as well as recreational sports that are available on either one of the campuses. For students that are interested in learning more about those opportunities, I certainly encourage you to head over to lakeheadu.ca/international. That is our main international landing page. On there, you can explore some of the offerings. You can explore some of the athletics and recreation opportunities, and then eventually we certainly can answer more questions with regards to that though too. So I'm just taking a look here. We just received another question here, and this one will be for Patrick. The question is, do you offer yearly scholarships? If I'm not eligible for it now, will I be able to apply for it based off my grades at Lakehead University?
Yeah, thanks for this question, Jordan. Lakehead University has a great entrance scholarship program for undergraduate students. And the way that program works is that during the time of your application, when Natalie is assessing you for undergraduate admissions or Kelsey is assessing you for undergraduate admissions, we determine what's called your Canadian average equivalent. So basically where you would fall on a scale used in Canada. Depending on where you fall on that grid, you may qualify for scholarship anywhere between $4,000 and $30,000. So it's quite a large range. The higher your academic achievement coming out of secondary school, whether that be high school or whatever your local, national, or international curriculum is, the higher your grades there, the more money you qualify for. In terms of, and that scholarship can be renewable throughout the course of your degree, I should add that. In terms of additional scholarships for students who may not qualify for an entrance scholarship, once you get to Lakehead campus, there is a My Awards portal, which can be accessed online, or you can visit Student Central to get some more details about some of the awards you can apply for as a student currently on campus. And when I say on campus, I mean currently enrolled, as many of our students will be participating distance this fall. And returning students are eligible to apply for some of those scholarships and bursaries. However, the entrance scholarship is for new international students.
Awesome. Thank you so much for clarifying, Patrick, and providing more details. Again, for students that are maybe interested in reviewing some of these details with regards to scholarships, awards, fees, that sort of thing, I certainly encourage you to visit us on our website, lakeheadu.ca/international. Right now, we don't have any open questions, so what I'm actually going to do is, I haven't done this before on a Wednesday weekly, but we're always looking to evolve and change. I want to share my screen here. So this is our landing page for international students. This is lakeheadu.ca/international, as you can see. The tab that I've mentioned is for future students. So you'll notice there's two tabs here for future students. The first one here is the COVID-19 resources for future international students. So if you were to click on this is a page that will give you great information about how to stay connected with Lakehead International and how to best access our new supports and some evolved and bettered supports during these times. Of course, there's a note to the Lakehead University's COVID-19 updates page, which is again that lakeheadu.ca/about/coronavirus. The first topic on this page is our one-on-one virtual counseling. So this is an opportunity to book a one-on-one online appointment with one of our in-country recruitment advisors. And it's quite simple. So all you have to do is, once you're on this page and you're able to visit here, it'll ask you to select your region. Of course, it's a drop-down list. You can select your region. In this case, I'll select Bahamas, and I'll know that Patrick is going to pop up here. So once you've selected a region, you click Submit, you'll see our recruitment advisor set for that region. All you have to do is simply click Book an appointment with Patrick or book an appointment with so-and-so, and you'll be right on your way to meet with them on a one-on-one counseling session. Also on here, and more related to our Lakehead International Live series, is our online events calendar for the Lakehead Live series. So you'll see all of our events are posted here, so you can see into the future, essentially. and you can also register and access these quite easily. As I mentioned, we have the LU virtual resources tomorrow, as well as Faculty Friday in a couple days here, but we already started updating for the following week, and we'll continue to update that. All of our previous sessions are archived here with some of the recordings linked at the very bottom. Something else to note on this page here is our YouTube channel and some of our most popular videos, some of the ones that students typically like to watch and check out. We also have an online virtual tour, so this is something I always like to chat about with students. We offer online virtual tours for both our Orillia and Thunder Bay campus, and you can complete that at your own pace. There are no appointments necessary, and it's free of cost to you. Of course, this is also amazing because you can do it from the comfort of your own home, so you can start it today and either finish it up whenever you choose to do so, or you can even finish it in a couple days if you need to take some more time to explore the buildings, the facilities, the surrounding environment. I think we are very fortunate as a panel today to work at Lakehead on such a beautiful campus in Thunder Bay. And I know we've also been to Orillia, and it's also quite beautiful there, but I think once you see it in a virtual tour, you'll also be sold on Lakehead University. And last but not least, we have our virtual fairs. So where can you meet Lakehead online if we're offering a virtual fair, for participating in a virtual fair? Again, those are our in-country recruitment advisors that are participating in fairs around the world currently. So that was our COVID-19 resources for our future students. Of course, going back to our main page here where we have our general resources for future students, you click on this tab right here on the right. Just going to double check to see if we've received any Q&As. Doesn't look like we have any open right now. No worries. If you do have any questions, again, we still have Natalie here and we have Patrick here to answer questions related to undergraduate admissions, general Lakehead questions, potentially graduate questions as well. To reiterate, they're also next week on July 29th, we'll be joined again by graduate studies. So if you have any questions that you're holding off to ask live, I encourage you to email them at gstudent@lakeheadu.ca first. But if you do prefer a live format, then you can certainly join us next Wednesday as well. Getting back into the future students page though here, you'll see some of our really great resources, and I help manage this page, so I hold it near to my heart there. But some of the advantages of studying in Canada are listed here. Our Lakehead advantage, so some of the reasons why students, what students have to say about Lakehead, why they love studying at Lakehead, some of the facts and recognitions that we've received as a university. We also have access to all of our programs of study, so undergraduate, graduate, our English language programs. There's a really handy applying and steps to becoming a Lakehead student. So this is a full guide, a step-by-step guide from the beginning of exploring programs all the way to arriving on campus. It's a really great resource that I certainly encourage students to access. As I mentioned, we have our scholarships and awards section, as well as our dates and fees. You can explore our hometowns here and learn more about Thunder Bay, Orillia, or even Barrie through our Lakehead Georgian partnership, as well as our campuses in all three of those locations. Housing, so you can reference our residences as well as off-campus accommodations. Supports for international students, where we chat about sort of the academic supports, the counseling supports, the general personal supports that we offer. And then of course, connect with an expert, another way to connect with our in-country recruiters. So if you're joining us from around the world, we might have an in-country recruiter that you feel most comfortable to connect with and might be able to look into your situation in more detail and understand it a bit better. So we always encourage that connection. While I'm on the international landing page, I'd be remiss not to mention our social medias once again, as I do manage them. So we're on Instagram, Lakehead International. Facebook is Lakehead University International, and on there we have a Facebook page, or a group for the incoming class of 2020. We have well over 400 students on there now who are future students that will be joining, and they're meeting future classmates, potential roommates, even friends back home in their home country right now. We're also on Twitter, Lakehead INTL, and Lakehead University does have a main YouTube page where all of us get to collaborate on there, and we do have 2 playlists dedicated to international students. One is the Lakehead International playlist, and the other is the Lakehead International Lives playlist. The Lives playlist is where a majority of our live webinars are recorded and then uploaded after the fact. If we haven't chatted enough about Lakehead University or chatted enough about the experience, this next section coming up here is something I absolutely encourage you to check out and read. We have our student voices. So we have our undergraduate voices, our graduate voices, our academic English program voices, our English language center voices, as well as our study abroad voices. So these are all students of Lakehead University who have shared their experience through their studies. So whether it's through that undergraduate program or whether it's a study abroad to Greece, for example, they've shared that experience with us and also even provided videos to us, photos to us. So it really gives you a good idea of what their experience was like at Lakehead. And again, at the bottom of this page, here's that virtual campus tour, another great way to check out either one of our campuses. If you are joining us and you prefer to read some of our material in another languages, we do offer quite a few translated versions of our website. So you'll see down here, all of these flags do represent a different language. Of course, we acknowledge that one country flag might represent a language that actually covers quite a few countries. But we certainly encourage you to explore those and check them out, as we know that sometimes reading something in your native language is slightly easier. With that being said, we also have our brochures and prospectuses. So I'll open that tab. That's exactly what I was talking about with our view book. So you'll see here on my video feed, I have our view book, a hard copy of it. But if you're looking for a digital copy, you'll see on our website here, we do have all of our view books translated here. So we have a full English version, we have Spanish, we have Mandarin, we have Arabic, as well as Vietnamese in our view book. And then we also have a smaller brochure. So the brochure is a slightly smaller document that is digitalized in this format, but we offer it in many more languages. So once again, we have English, Spanish, Mandarin, Arabic, Vietnamese, but we also have Portuguese, Korean, Japanese, Russian, Turkish, Indonesian. And at the very bottom here, we also have more information about our Lakehead Georgian degree plus diploma programs, and that's offered in English. Once again, I'm going to head over to the Q&A to check to see if we've received any more. Looks like we haven't received any questions, so I do encourage our viewers, if you have any questions for myself about Lakehead University, for Natalie with undergraduate admissions, for Patrick about Lakehead University, certainly you can submit those on the Q&A if you are joining on the Zoom platform. If you're over on our Facebook live stream, you can absolutely comment on that video, and we do have our Lakehead expert Sylvia behind the scenes helping answer questions over there. If you're watching this video as a recording, you can certainly comment on either one of the recorded versions of the video, whether it be on Facebook or YouTube. We'll get that notification and we'll answer hopefully in a timely manner for you.
And Jordan, I just wanted to add, I know you covered it a little bit earlier and in our share screen here, but if students watching this do think of a question offline, I would encourage you to book an appointment with any one of our recruitment advisors around the world. I myself work with students of the Middle East, the Caribbean, and Africa, but we have someone who you can connect with anywhere in the world, regardless of where you are or what nationality is. If you need to ask a question, please do. And these counseling time slots are available to everybody, and they are available in your time zone. So don't feel like you have to stay up till all hours of the night to get a hold of someone from Lakehead. We'll connect with you during a reasonable daytime hour on your end and on our end. So I would just encourage you, any student watching this, any applicant watching this, to connect with us, because we're happy to be here to answer any questions.
For sure, and thank you for reminding me, Patrick. So I did put the link to book a one-on-one counseling session in the Zoom chat there. So if you head over there and visit that link, once again, you can sort by region. So you're going to want to select the region of the world that you're joining us from, and then we can connect with you with one of our in-country recruitment advisors And of course, with that being said, as Patrick mentioned, we can also do that at the convenience of the same time zone or a very similar time zone. So there won't be any need to stay up super late just to connect with us when we're technically working here in Canada, Ontario. I would be also remiss not to mention our resources for current students and the opportunity to book an appointment with our International Student Services team. So our International Student Services team is the team here at Lakehead University that handles current student affairs. So all students that are joined us here at Lakehead, and you are considered here a current student already, or you can start accessing some of these supports if you have accepted your offer, you've begun that registration process. We certainly encourage you to connect with international student advisors. We are very lucky to have 3 dedicated international student advisors, as well as an immigration advisor, an arrival support team, and many, many other members who are here to support you. So if you were to go onto their page, and I do apologize, I didn't show where I clicked here. COVID-19 resources for current international students is how you would access this page. Once you're on this page, you can actually scroll down to their main page and you can click right here. We're here to help. Click here to make an appointment with your advisor now. So if you click here, it will bring you to booking an appointment. So it does have a few guidelines about sort of what we expect from our students when they do book an appointment. And then it does ask you to sort based on the topics you're looking for. So if you're looking for academic advising, if you're confused about registration, you haven't had an opportunity to connect with our Student Central team, our international student advisors are always happy to also assist you. To some extent, in some specialized programming, they can't necessarily advise you fully on registration. That's something that's handled by the chairs internally within that department. Some of the other topics, though, that you could certainly meet them with is financial advising, general advising, so that includes personal support, immigration advising, so if you have questions about study permits, visas, immigrations, all that sort of stuff, you can meet with Jennifer Hay, our in-house immigration advisor, who is regulated immigration advisor. As I mentioned yesterday, we had a great session with a special guest, Olivier from IRCC. And next Tuesday, we'll be joined again by Jen, our in-house immigration advisor, and myself to host another session. We also have the new student arrival and orientation. So we have questions with regards to if you're eligible to travel to Canada and arrive here in Thunder Bay or Orillia, what does that process look like? Where can you live? What does the quarantine policy outline? All that sort of stuff. We also have the Peer Mentor program. We did recently host a live webinar on that for a Transition Thursday, and we dove into what a Peer Mentor program does, what it does to support our future students, but also how to join. We have the study abroad, so you'll meet up with Laura, one of our international student advisors. International students, when they do join us here in Canada, are also eligible to go on a study abroad opportunity. So even though you may have moved a large distance to join us here in Canada, you might still be interested to take opportunity to do a bit of international experience in another country while studying here at Lakehead, and that's certainly an option for you, and we'd be happy to explore that for you. And last but not least, we have our wellness supports, and so this ties into some of the wellness supports that we are providing to students based on the current situation. We know that it's affecting everyone differently, and so we encourage you, if you do need that support, so reach out to us. To give you an example, though, I'm going to click immigration advising, click submit here, and you'll see then it encourages me to book an appointment with Jennifer Hay, and that's as simple as it is. Book an appointment with Jennifer, and it's a few steps after that you'll be on your way. That covers most of the international student section. I do see another question here, so I'll read that one. Do you offer a second-year direct entry? I will be an international transfer student, and I have completed my year 1 at an Australian university. Great question, thank you for that. I'll pass that over to Natalie to chat about transferring to Lakehead University as an undergraduate student.
Great, thanks so much for your question. So the way our transfer credits work at Lakehead is we do assess each course that you've taken at that university. So let's say you're in the first year of, let's say, a computer science degree or another degree, we will request that you submit your full course syllabi. We will send those to the faculty to assess the transfer credit and if there is an equivalency here at Lakehead. If there is no equivalency at Lakehead, usually if it is a university level course, we will give an unspecified credit. But it sounds like your question is more asking about block transfer, which we don't do. So once your transfer credit is complete, you can view your degree audit on your account to see how many transfer credits you've been received and how many are remaining. But if you do have transfer credit, we will assess those on an individual basis, and it's course by course, not a block transfer.
Awesome. Thank you so much for clarifying, Natalie. And I'd also like to add on to that is there are potentially some universities and some programs that Lakehead University does have a partnership or a pathway agreement with. What that means is that if you do complete a full degree or even part of a degree at one of our partner institutions around the world, there's an opportunity to then transfer directly into an upper year within one of Lakehead University's programs. That is unique to the select institutions that we have those arrangement with and agreements with. So you can certainly, if you're curious about that, reach out to your own institution to see if they do have a pathway with Lakehead University. But as Natalie mentioned, in this case, it sounds like transferring out of after your first year of an Australian university, you will most likely be assessed on an individual basis, a course by course basis for transfer credits. So it looks like that was our next question. That was the only question that we got. So once again, for any of our new viewers that may have joined, you can certainly submit questions to us about Lakehead University in general, but also we do have our Undergraduate Admissions Officer here today. If you do have a question with regards to graduate studies, myself or Patrick could certainly take a stab at it, but we may have to connect you directly with graduate studies via email or encourage you to connect with us next Wednesday, July 29th. To chat with them live. So we do have a great question from Devansh, and it says, I'm beginning my fall semester online from my home country, so how to apply to opt out for other fees via my info portal? So that's a really great question. I'm assuming this is with regards to your ancillary fees. So ancillary fees are fees that are not directly related to academics, but they support different initiatives and programming across campus so that as a student we can properly support you. Some of these fees are optional, where in that case that you can opt out to pay that fee. In that case, I certainly encourage you to review each of the fees individually and make the assessment on your own, whether or not it's something that you feel that you would access and you should contribute towards. And if you have any questions about that, again, you can certainly meet with one of our international student advisors. So in International Student Services, the ISS team, they would be happy to chat more about this too. So if you went to book an appointment with them, you would do financial advising. You could also meet with our International Accounts Officer, Chris Gallinger. He is a dedicated International Accounts Officer, so he'll be happy to help you and clarify how to opt out for fees via my info portal. I can't do a walkthrough right now because I don't have those fees on my account. I don't have a setup like that. I don't have any programs upcoming this fall. But again, if you would like to connect with our International Accounts Officer or one of our International Student Advisors, you can certainly do that, and they'd be happy to help you look into that situation. So just taking a look, we don't have any more Q&As. We are right now at 10:38 a.m. in Thunder Bay, so Eastern Daylight Time. So we do technically have 20 more minutes on the live. However, if we don't receive any more questions in the coming minutes, then we will most likely wrap up early. And if we do have any questions following this, so if you're watching this as a recording, you can certainly comment on the video and we'd be happy to address that. So we did receive a question here. This one will be for Natalie. The question is, how will the fees be calculated for the remaining courses or program once the transfer credit assessment is completed? It would be great if you could provide more information on tuition fees for transfer students. I apologize, Natalie. I think I can certainly address this one. So fees are applied to student accounts based on their registration, their course registration. Say, for example, if you were to receive a total of 5 transfer credit assessments, so 5 FCEs, that would be technically a full year, so an entire year of courses at Lakehead if you were studying at a full-time enrollment. You would then have to pay for the subsequent years to complete your degree requirements, and that's the key. You must complete your degree requirements in order to graduate from Lakehead University. So the fees are calculated based on what your enrollment is. If you do not receive all 5 full credit equivalents, FCEs, say for example you receive 2.5, you would then have to complete a full semester of courses to make up for any of those gaps that you may have for that program requirement the first year. And then again, you would pay for those courses that you've completed, and then for your full-time registration for any subsequent years to complete those degree requirements, you would once again have to pay tuition for that. For this student though, I absolutely encourage you to accept your offer and then go through the process of the transfer credit assessment. Our international admissions team is always happy to provide more information and help you with that process. And I know that they work really hard with our faculty members and our program chairs and coordinators to review those credits and see if they are applicable to any one of our Lakehead University courses. Once that transfer credit assessment is complete, Natalie mentioned that you will be then able to review what credits you've received and then complete a degree audit to see what courses you will need to register for the upcoming semester or year, and then of course any subsequent required program requirements after that. So we don't have any more questions. At this time, I'll head over to the next slide. I know that I already covered it briefly on our international students page when I shared my screen for our landing page on our website. But I will encourage you once again to follow us on our social media channels. We're on Facebook, Lakehead University International. Over there, we have a group started for the incoming class of 2020. We have over 400 students already joined on that group, which is great to see. I've seen some really great conversations and students meeting future classmates, but also potential roommates and arranging housing opportunities. As well, people that are meeting friends that are even in their home country or hometown where they are now, and they'll be joining Lakehead in the coming weeks, months, and year. So we are also on Instagram, Lakehead International. We're on Twitter, Lakehead INTL, and we're on YouTube. For the main university account is Lakehead University. We do have a dedicated playlist for international students. We have 2 of them actually. The first one is Lakehead International, and the second is Lakehead International Lives. That is where all of our webinars are recorded, or a majority of them are recorded and uploaded after the fact. Once again, I know I've mentioned it in my previous screen sharing moment, but I absolutely encourage our students and our viewers to take a virtual campus tour of Lakehead University. You can check out Aurelia, you can check out Thunder Bay, get a really good idea of sort of the facilities, the buildings, the surrounding environment that you'll be studying in. And I think you'll probably be sold on Lakehead once you check it out and you get to check out how beautiful it is here on campus. I'm going to flip over to the Q&A one last time. Check to see if we've received any. It looks like we're still good. I know that we've been hovering around the same amount of participants, and I haven't seen too many new ones pop up. Once again, I'll remind our viewers, if you are watching this as a recording, you can certainly comment on the video. We'll be happy to get back to you. If you were a graduate student that wasn't able to ask your questions because we aren't joined by graduate studies today, I do apologize. You can certainly reach out to them at gstudent@lakeheadu.ca. Otherwise, it looks like we'll wrap it up there for today. And I want to thank Patrick, Natalie, and Sylvia for helping me behind the scenes as well as panelists. So bye for now, everyone, and thanks again for joining.